welcome to Dungeons and Shenanigans. I am going to be your lovely DM for the night. So we're actually going to be down a couple of players tonight. We're going to be down one Augustus Sinclair, and temporarily for just a little bit, about like a month and a half, we'll be down a Vela Twilight Dancer. But Abram should be showing up late either this episode or next episode.
What do you mean? He's right there.
Oh, my bad.
Come on.
Abram, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Abram. I'm gonna be playing Dajwan Ren today. Nature's kind of in flux, and we need to bring balance back to that. Mushrooms are also pretty cool. Wow.
Words of wisdom.
So wise.
Yeah,
Much
so
wise.
Yeah.
Tanner.
Hi. Oh, you want me to introduce?
Tara.
I'm Finn.
Tara, take it away.
Hey.
Eli.
I'm playing Cowl.
Yeah, and that's all you get for today, folks. The roll call is complete.
Oh, we love it.
Jonah.
Yeah.
Yo.
Playing everyone else.
Playing literally everything else in existence in the world of Eventfire.
Beatrice.
Wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Done it.
He was an art major.
And there is no money. I am severely broke.
But follow your dreams, people.
Yeah, follow your dreams.
I am severely broke. And this episode is sponsored by
our Patreon, which will have content someday.
It is sponsored by our lovely sponsors at
Yes.
Crippling Student Loans. Try Crippling Student Loans today.
And don't forget our other sponsor, Crippling Depression.
Well, that's a constant.
That's what makes us.
We should honestly put it right here in the bottom.
That's why
It's
they
actually
play
in the
D&D.
description box below.
Yeah. Click the link. You can try it too.
And if you don't agree with what we say, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell. But if you do agree with what we say, just go ahead and hit the bell, comment, then like, and then subscribe.
Yeah.
In that order.
In that order.
We can tell. There's a difference.
There's an algorithm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
YouTube needs to know that that you love our content. So that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
So Desir. So bringing it back into the campaign. You guys explored, albeit we're running, but explored a little bit more of the Glittering Marsh as you were running away from that tribe that was perceived to be cannibals.
Definitely cannibals.
And ran away from them with a little flare-stone action. Had a bridge situation, a little bit of time shifting to get across that bridge.
That's right, yeah.
You continued past there, avoiding some very nasty creatures.
T-Rex.
Until you, exactly, T-Rex, until you went into this small village. And it's a treetop village, one that is made specifically for this other small tribe that apparently seems to be aligned with the Savidrans and Zanetians. And it appears that they all have, on all of their weapons, as well as their talismans and everything, have this purple braided talisman that you recognize that Amanda also has on her purple sword. She also has the red tassel that was on Rue's blades as well. Exactly. See? Now you know. Entering into this small village, you were given immediate housing as well as an old kook that was...
Comes with the housing.
He comes with the housing,
Yeah.
you know.
Can't get him to leave.
It's...
He does the laundry, though, so...
Yeah, exactly. He's a part of the deal.
Yeah.
It's what makes it so homey. And there's a little sign that's just like put in like it's like different types of like leathers, but it's like seared in. Just says "Live, Laugh, Love." Yeah. It's a very homey experience.
It's not a house. It's a home.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, as you guys sat down, you learned that he was a shaman of Aether, and would actually help you identify what Aether elements that you would have. He set up these different singing bowls that were a black bowl with golden rim and these golden legs that rest on the bottom. Placed those around in a circle, drew out this circle out of chalk, it seems. Very intricate design, and placed them in each one of the circles in this giant sigil, planting different ingredients within the bowls themselves. Whoever wanted to participate was asked to step into the center, and he gave you a pipe made out of spirit metal. And it seems as though that was his spirit metal that he uses for his shaman activities and for his channeling. Augustus went through a vision quest through this and discovered that he had a slight affinity for breaking down earth and turning it into sand, as well as some other abilities as well. Vela was who went next, who had a bit of a more rude awakening within it. Well, awakening's the wrong term.
Yeah, Vela broke it.
As Vela stared at the reflection of herself, as different piano wire string attached to her and started to puppeteer her, seemingly not waking from this barrier. The shaman strode in and shut down the ritual, and she lay there unconscious, and that's where he picked up. So, group, you guys are now in this section. So what are you doing here?
I said before that I was gonna help him or whatever I can to put it back together.
Put what back together?
The ritual.
Okay, yeah. It's he set it up very quickly, so it seems as though that's not a huge issue for him. But everybody is kind of like a little bit panicked, and it seems like he also is panicked on Vela and a little concerned, but it doesn't seem like he's extremely worried about it.
Okay. Because we did, like, get her stabilized.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so we know that she is okay enough right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Okay.
She's just unconscious right now.
Yeah. Does that happen frequently? Is this a side effect?
It can be. If she had some things tying her down.
Oh, she was cursed.
Well, that was obvious.
Oh, well, if she was cursed, then yeah.
She told us she was cursed.
Yeah, I mean, we've known that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
if
don't
she's
think
cursed, then that would explain that.
that will. Well, how do you? So how do you wake her up then if she's cursed and did this? You should have. Is there like any other side effects that we should worry about from pre-existing conditions?
What other pre-existing conditions do you have?
I mean, I don't think I have any that I should be concerned about.
You're good.
But
You?
Nope.
She's glowing pink right now. She's not normally pink.
that is true. I am not normally pink. This is a pre-existing condition.
What did that to you then?
The fairies
Oh,
out in the forest. I hate it.
stand still. Stand right there. He goes ahead and walks over, and then has his long golden staff.
My dreams.
He has that long
Please.
golden staff that has the point at the end of it, and then at the very top is that golden ring that has a bunch of golden rings also hanging from it.
Ooh.
He walks over with it, and he just kind of like holds it over your head, and then just like starts to just slowly shake it, and the rings are now starting to jitter. But then you watch them just kind of float on their own within the confines of that same circle, but they start to just kind of levitate and separate evenly. Bonk! And just bonks you on the head.
Ow!
So since you weren't expecting it,
you giving him a sneak attack?
You take 1 point of bludgeoning
Oh.
damage as he just smacks the top of your head.
And I'm kind of like.
Oh, calm down, calm down.
Why'd you hit me?
Look. And you watch the pink just like fading away and just like peeling off and flaking.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm normal. Oh, I'm normal again.
Well, not really, but
There's still a lot wrong with you.
oh,
there's a lot wrong with you.
You still have the scent of Fae on you.
I still have what?
You still have the Fae scent on you, but the color's gone.
You can smell it?
Oh, I can't, but other creatures can.
What does that mean?
Just be aware.
Thank you for ominous warnings. That's what I wanted after
is
this
what I am
whole
here
ritual went to disaster.
Now, and just double taps his stick, and when you watch the chalk that was kind of like scattered and the bowls that were everywhere, they just kind of all revert back to that perfect circle. Who wants to go next?
You can do it like
I'm going to push Susie forward.
Yep.
No!
Oh, you want to experience this first?
And I like turn around.
You're so brave.
Bravo,
You're
bravo.
so great. Just wonderful.
Watch your backs. Not literally.
No, you seriously do want to watch your backs.
Special
There are
abilities.
giant spiders that attach themselves like backpacks.
Do you put those stuff in them?
I mean, you can if you befriend them.
What kind of world do you live in? Okay.
Not your world, apparently.
No. Gosh, I guess I'm next.
Have fun.
I could actually invite a spider sack here.
I don't want that.
Okay. It will be
She might
around.
want
They
No,
are nocturnal.
I will never want that.
They are nocturnal, so they
Sure.
will be. If you see one on the window, don't scream. That is all
wouldn't.
ask.
I wouldn't in general, but
Good. So, please, step in the center.
fine.
You can do it.
Okay, now sit down, cross-legged, right there. Alright. He goes ahead and gets his pipe again and just pops out the remnants of what was in there, repacks it. You see him open his fingers and that same spark happens as he just lights it on his own. And you see that stained glass filigree and texture of it start to reappear again as he takes a long draw from it. And you watch the color go from the very top where the bowl is and just... It's a very interesting spirit metal device. As he hands it back to you, you see the smoke just kind of like exiting his mouth. Your chariot awaits.
I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna go into a coma, am I? Like her.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
That's a yes?
Oh, it's not a no.
Ay, whatever.
Do you want to visit her?
No.
That's probably wise. And you see, like, Amanda, like, as he mentioned that, was kind of like, are you serious? Like, gave him that kind of a face?
Yeah. No, it sounds like a good idea. Okay.
Well then, please.
Yeah.
Okay. So you take this long draw, and it's weird that the smoke itself, you're used to occasionally having to smoke. Being in the military, it's
so
inevitable.
Cool. Oh,
Normally you're not like a huge fan of it, but it helps pass the time, helps kind of like ease the
You
nerves.
get kind of bored. Yeah.
This, it feels warm, and it starts at your core and just kind of like slowly drifts throughout your body.
No, we didn't.
Similar.
Similar. Okay.
So you end up taking that long draw, and you're like, what is happening? Like, I'm fine. And you turn around and look, and the pipe is gone, and you're standing in this expanse of darkness.
Definitely wasn't standing before.
Perfect, I said.
You're in this expanse of darkness, and then you're in this like very still water, and your footsteps are in it. As you look down, the ripples are coming from your foot, or from your feet.
Oh, so they're like ankle deep. How deep is this water?
It's like maybe about as much as your foot.
Oh.
It is very, very shallow water. You just see that ripple just like. You have illumination enough to see your surroundings, but it's sourceless. Almost as if you are the illumination, seeing what is around you in this surroundings.
Interesting. Is like the illumination what it looked like when I had the dark vision? Is it almost as if I have dark vision again? Or is it they're like an actual source of light?
It seems as though it's an actual source of light. Like, you shouldn't be able to see in this, but you do.
Okay. Interesting.
So, you're just kind of sitting there, and then you see, rising out of the water are these 2 bowls. And they're much larger than the smaller ones that were there. And you see one of them ignites like a brazier. And then the other one, you see, just almost seems like it's absorbing the light from the flames. The flames are visible, but it's almost as if it's a silhouetted outline version of it. As you see, the light is being drained away into the other bowl. You're sitting there and wondering, this is definitely interesting. And as you see the fire die out, you see this purple flame appear in the other. Out of the purple flames, you just see it's going crazy. But then you start to see shape out of it. Make a perception check.
15.
15. As you see, the flames are starting to, almost as if a strong wind is hitting this. They're rapidly changing, but you are starting to see a little bit of form in these. Almost as if these flame-like blackened wings are starting to protrude out from it. Still wild, still crazy, but you're starting to see those just kind of slightly appear. And you see at the very center is just a very slight silhouetted mask. Featureless. But it looks as almost like it could belong to like a porcelain doll. And you just see that just stare back at you just for a moment in the flames as they just return back to their chaos. What do you do?
I want to touch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you take a few steps forward, you're starting to see that ripple effect starting to happen, and you are starting to see now just this slow mist, this fog, just kind of appearing at the peripheries of your vision, just kind of on the outskirts of this area.
Do I see anything in the fog? Like any shadows or shapes?
We'll use your previous perception check. Was that a 16?
15.
15. The fog itself, you're not seeing any shapes or any rhyme or reason behind it, really.
And like nothing that looks like the shaman either. Like I'm also kind of looking to be like, is he here?
You are alone.
Dang.
You're perfectly alone. As you're walking through this, the water rippling, you see the flames of these purple and black flames that are just whipping about.
So I just want to be clear, there's no more like red fire-like flames. Mm-hmm. It's all just, so is it still 2 bowls and the 1 bowl's empty now?
Yes.
Okay.
So you walk past that one and you do see that it has what looks like it would have been slightly embered pieces of wood is just cold and dried and dead.
Okay, do I recognize, like, the ember from, like, oh, this was in the other bowl?
It looks like the same.
Okay.
But you do see the other one. Seems as though the darkness has absorbed all of that light and ended up producing this blackened flame.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to reach out to it and feel, like, does it feel, like, hot like a fire would?
It does feel, it feels warm, but it doesn't feel hot.
Okay. I'm gonna touch it.
Okay. You touch it and you put your hand into this. And as, like, when you were around it, it felt warm, but as your hand goes into it, it feels icy cold. Colder than plunging it in a bucket of ice water.
Not
You just
what
feel
I
that
expected.
just licking around your hand, almost as if, like, it's ravaging cold mist. And it's funny, and you kind of, like, bring your hand out, and as you bring your hand out, it looks as though you drag flame with it.
Oh.
And you're kind of looking at it, and now it's like this small little mote of flame in your hand that's just dancing about in the palm of your hand that slowly just returns back to the full flame.
I want to try and call it to me without, like, touching it. Like, I want to try and get, like, another ember in my hand. Just kind of, like, will it towards me.
Roll a d20.
14!
Okay. Go ahead and add a +1 to that. So that's 15.
Yeah, a +1.
So, can't do maths. Can't do opposite subtraction. Can't do it.
No.
So as you are kind of focusing in on this, you see the flames are less chaotic and they're more focused. The flames almost look as if they're looking at you in attention.
That's kind of weird.
Less chaotic. You don't see any face or form to
You're
it.
like, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
But as you just kind of like hold out your hand for it, you just see the flames are not crazy. They slow and they're a lot calmer, and they seem to be more drifting and waving towards you rather than everywhere.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. As you're kind of wondering, what is this? You just see out of the flames something just fly out of it, and you just see this black raven's feather just
Like an actual tangible feather?
and just land between you and the bowl, right in the water, and you see it ripple.
Well, I'm gonna pick that up. Oh, feather!
As you go down to pick it up, that's when you wake back up.
Oh, God. Then I'm like, yes, not a Nicola.
You wake back up again, and you see the shaman is just kind of like 4 inches from your face.
I definitely had like shoot back from him.
He shoots back even further.
I'm like, hey man, what? Hey. What are you looking at?
Your soul is in conflict.
What?
Your souls are in conflict.
I don't even care enough for you to elaborate right now.
Good, because stew is ready. You were in there for about 30 minutes.
Really?
Yes. He walks over and just like starts to pour himself a bowl of stew. Please help yourself.
I am curious because the others had like a cage like around them. Do I also am in like a cage now?
You didn't really notice. The rest of you guys did see flames on the sigil itself that were kind of rising around her that had these like purple and black tips to the wisps. And you saw that acorn-like thing in the center of it looks as though it expanded to this gnarled, brambled branch that curled around you and created that same crown formation that it has in your other allies. But this one, it seems as though it was draining the light in the room. It was drawing that in. And the room did look dimmer for all of the rest of you guys. But you didn't experience any of that.
No.
But I would say the soup would have been ready already by the time she had already woken up. So you guys can help yourself to some soup.
Okay. I'll do that if I see Amanda do it.
Oh yeah, she's one of the first.
Okay.
And you notice something rare with Amanda. She's taken off her armor, her swords, her jacket. Like, she is fully trusting.
Wow. That
Which, for her, that seems to be a rarity. It seems as though she holds him in very high regard. One thing you do notice, though, is this large spider, about maybe this big, is just sitting in what looks like a small cat bed. Just curled up, just...
Is that the spider backpack you were talking about?
Oh yeah, that's Spitter.
Okay.
Spitter, go show. And you see the legs... and just... all 8 legs just start walking towards you. You see the beady little eyes staring back at you, the mandibles. Just,
What kind of spider does this look like?
it looks like a tarantula, but all black. No brown or anything. It looks like it might have like a different tone of black because it does have a little bit of stripes to it. Like a lighter,
Very, very dark gray.
very, very dark gray
Yeah.
and black. My aesthetics. So you do notice that, and you are starting to see what looks like
That's my aesthetics, actually.
exactly. You are starting to see the lights in the forest have dimmed a bit as well. But you see Amanda is just kind of eating her soup and looking over like some papers, it seems. It looks like she's probably plotting out her next route. So, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I am eating.
Okay.
I'm also eating.
Nice. Anything you guys would like to do during her ritual?
I think me and Lucky would have played rock paper scissors the whole time to see who's going next. But I don't have enough fingers for scissors to like make sense.
I imagine like we're doing it the whole time, and then we take a break to go eat soup.
Both of you roll a
And it's like
d20.
we don't have a winner yet.
Yeah.
18.
1.
Okay. Both of you roll again.
18.
18.
Okay, roll again.
19.
17.
Okay.
2 out of 3.
You get to choose.
You're going first, boy.
Lucky, you're on first. So, as the ritual for Susie has ended, you do see the shaman also, like after he talked with you, walked over to Amanda and is like pointing on maps, kind of like talking with her. You still see she's not, like she doesn't have any really thing on her in terms of equipment, but you do see the swords are never far from her. Still sheathed, not exhibiting any type of form, but they always seem to be rather close to her. So you look back down and you see in the center of this a raven's feather.
Oh shoot! It manifested here. I'll just swoop. I'll pick that up.
You end up picking it up,
I'm sticking it in my pocket.
and as you pick it up, there's this like jolt in your hand, and it kind of like passes through your whole body just in an instant. It almost feels as though it connects to like the nerve network. Like you feel that tingle all throughout all of your nervous system, and it's just a instant.
Yeah, like, ooh, man, all right. Put it in my pocket.
Okay. Write that in your inventory.
Yeah, I am. It's in my pocket. And then kind of like, I guess as I'm getting soup, I'm gonna like towards the shaman be like, so you gonna tell me what any of that means, or do I just have to guess?
Oh yes, so you have affinity for darkness. Quite a good affinity of it, I would say. You also have fire. It appears that you breathe it in your body, but you also have a weird form of manifesting it. Something that's very unique, something I have not seen before.
Okay.
Take that I will.
Alright.
He's saying you're special.
I would never say that. Because if I say someone is special, then they have high expectation to be special. And then they get burnt out, and I've seen that happen. I've lost students this way.
You're special.
Thank you.
So who's going next?
Lucky!
I'll be
So,
watching.
In the
If you
ritual where like the flames had appeared, it looks as though it burned away the chalk.
Oh, so it's hot for us.
Yeah. But as he walks back over, he's just always the most arduous part. He just drags the rod that he carries. He just drags it behind him, and you watch as the chalk retraces itself. Okay, Mr. Lucky, please stand in or sit in center.
Okay, I walk in, just sit down.
Okay. You go ahead and walk and just sit down. Just kind of look around, and you see he goes ahead and repacks his pipe and hands it back to you. Take a long few draws of that. Exhale it. And try to relax and empty your mind.
It's the good stuff, Lucky. Come on.
Yeah, he knows how to smoke.
Go ahead and so I just.
Are you coughing? Lucky's not a cool kid. He doesn't know how to smoke.
You wish that he could be like the cool kids.
They seem
All
to
the
fit
cool
in.
kids.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
You ruined it.
Ruiner. Dancers, am I
I'm
right?
good.
Oh, dancers. And prancers and vixen.
No. You're gonna get copyright strike. No,
Sorry. Alright. So you end up taking that long draw from it, and you're just. As your mind kind of expands and opens, you see this small grassy patch that you're sitting on. And you see it is, as you look around, you see this beautiful horizon. So many things out there. This beautiful forest landscape. You see hills and mountains, what looks like a desert plain. Sky, beautiful and clear, with enough clouds though, to not feel as though you're in direct sunlight. It's a beautiful, beautiful time. You're sitting in this very small little patch of grass, this large tree at your back. As you just sit there and just kind of look around. Make a perception check.
20 total.
20 total. As you're kind of looking around, you notice you're not on flat land. You're on an extremely tall spire with this grass patch at the top of it and that tree growing out. No other paths, seemingly stuck up here. But you watch Cowl walking away on a road. And it looks as though where he's walking towards is a beautiful jungled paradise. And you see yourself walking alongside him. Way, way down below, past the tree coverage. And you see there's a crossroads. One path forks to the paradise, and the other forks towards what looks like this gnarled desert. One that looks as though it would bring much pain and suffering. What do you do?
Oh gosh, because I'm just walking.
Oh. Tanner? Oh, there you are. Okay, you cut out there for a second.
Beautiful.
So-
I'm able just to watch this, right?
Yes. And it seemingly you're about like 100 feet up on this spire. But you do see down there yourself walking alongside Cowl.
I don't think I would do anything. I think I would just watch and see what happens.
You watch and see Cowl walk towards the destruction and the ruination. And as you're kind of walking along with him, you looks as though Lucky kind of just slowly creates a new path and guides Cowl back to the path of paradise as you stay stationary. And you watch Cowl continue towards this beautiful paradise, this freedom, and you stand alone in this empty, desolate desert. You blink once again, and instead you're in this white scape of nothingness. You see the daughter's friend. You see Akira. You see what looks as though, in their minds, your saviors, the ones from the raid. You watch them all just crowd around these images. And they just stare back at you. What do you do?
Can you do when you see something like that? No one can see it, but Lucky starts to kind of break down.
Okay.
After, even though time has passed,
Mm-hmm.
to see her after everything that's gone on.
Do you fall to your knees?
No, not off both of the knees, but you can the silent crying, where you can see the shoulders moving. You can tell they're crying, but besides that, there's no other indication.
As you're just kind of just silently crying like this, you just hear Akira speak out. Lucky? What's wrong?
It's kind of rubs his eyes. Nothing's just been too long.
You see she takes a few steps forward towards you.
Don't move, but I'm paying attention to what everyone else is doing.
As you see, she continues to walk forward. Lucky. I'm sorry. But we both know I'm already dead. Somehow, I see you. And I know you're doing good. And I know you want to do good. I know some may say you have the worst luck. And you really do. But that does not mean you belong in destitute and isolation. Seek them out. And she continues to take steps forward. And you look down at yourself and you are much shorter now, at her level. You see she walks over and just kind of touches your face, and you feel the warmth of her hand on your face. The soft hands of someone who's never worked a day in their lives.
That's Lucky breaks. He just collapses crying.
She just holds you closer. As you just sit there, sobbing, you just hear her just say, "It's okay to hurt, Lucky. You no longer have the burden of your markings. You are no longer just a number. You are Lucky." And she kind of grabs your face and looks at you in your eyes. You are my Lucky. You see, she just presses her forehead against yours.
Sobbing.
Thank you for always being there when no one was. And I'm sorry that it took so long. We will meet again. As you see her hands release and she just takes a few steps back. And you see as she just takes those few steps back, she just goes, "Don't forget," and just keeps walking back into that mist, that smoke. And you just see the shadowed outlines of the raiding party. You see a cart, a caravan, just in that shadow, in that smoke. As you see it just slowly wash over to the point where it's no longer visible. The smoke around you getting dimmer and darker, but the thought of her, you see she's your shining beacon, this bit of light that never ceases. That smoke around you just almost as if it's following and drifting around her and you. And as you wake, your eyes are soaked, tear stains down your cheeks. You watch Lucky break down.
I would have rushed him.
As you would rush to him, there is a barrier that is formed with these rituals. let you pass.
I would try to.
The shaman would stop you.
Yeah, but it would be
Multiple
visible
times.
that like he couldn't help it.
In all your attempts, you were not able to get through. Words seemingly not phasing through into this vision. For the first time, you've seen Lucky show true emotion.
Man, that's some good soup.
Oh, you should try the baked bread I'm making.
Whoa, delicious.
What are we doing? He walks over to you, kind of like taps your shoulder, because you're just on the ground, collapsed, just the tear stains. And you just kind of look around, and you see this really, like the wood around you, it still has this very slight illumination to it as it just slowly fades. You guys watch the berries grow and expand into that beautiful vine work where the flowers bloom, and at the very center is a pod that just glows in a very calming, relaxing light. You see that orb in the center, the clear orb. It floated up and just hummed near him. And as it just had this humming sound, you watch these blades of wind become visible, almost as if it's a fan that just spin slowly around it, as if it's spinning so fast that's all you're able to perceive is just the slow fanning of these wind blades.
The barrier's gone now, right?
No, it returns back to, after the ritual is done, you see it shrivel up and shrink back into just the normal berry with the small vine attached to it. And you see that orb, all the wind return back to it as you see it just dink, plops back into the little container. But Lucky looks broken.
Well, I'll go to pick her up
Okay.
Comfort.
the way I usually do.
Princess Carrie.
Let's carry for the win.
Is she awake or unconscious?
Lucky's in the man form right now.
I know her as Nikki. That's what I knew her from the first part.
So Lucky, you get picked up by Cowl.
You okay? What happened? I tried to save you, but there was a barrier. I bruised one of my fingers trying to punch it. It hurts.
Yeah.
Can't punch my way through anything, I guess. Well, a lot of things, but not that.
No, magic is not the best thing to try and punch through.
What happened? Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
Just.
I wanted you to go first because I need to know what'll happen to me, and I know you're better with that stuff than I am.
Oh, yeah, no, the magic's good. The paths just came. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got me now. And while we're talking about this, I'm like holding him an arm, like tickling his belly or something.
Yeah.
He's like a baby.
And you do see Lucky has shrunken.
Oh, like he's actually smaller.
Lucky is about the size of like an 8-year-old.
Oh, wow. Small child.
Then yeah, with just in my arm.
Yeah. And Lucky, you don't even realize it at this point.
I'm always
At
big
your
too,
size.
so.
You're so caught up in everything that you've seen, and his vision seemingly only lasted maybe 5-10 minutes.
Oh. Well, much shorter. Interesting.
Well, I'll bring him to one of the chairs or sofa or whatever is there.
Well, there's beds in here.
Oh, there's beds. We're sleeping in here.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
our room.
then I'll bring him to a bed and put him in and tuck him in.
As you bring him to a bed, you see there's like these two spiders that are like grabbing the covers and are like starting
Thank
to
you.
like pull the covers up over. And you just, as you say thank you, they just look up and just walk away. And you see them just crawl up onto the ceiling and just hold onto the rafters.
Oh, house spiders, lovely. Thank you
Mhm.
so
Keep
much.
him safe.
Yeah.
And say, I'll be back soon. Okay,
Okay.
that's my bed right next to yours. Remember that. And then I'm gonna go.
Okay. Gonna put a Minecraft bed next to yours. So,
I'm dying into yellow.
No,
so
no.
it seems as though the ritual that Lucky went through was a lot less volatile, and it doesn't seem like there's much marring on the ritual circle itself. It's very quick repair.
So, but what does the shaman say? Is he like, oh,
Yes. Well, it seems as though he not only saw his elements, maybe not really. Maybe he saw them in the form of something else. But it seems as though it is left him broken. We'll give it time.
yeah, but like, what are his elements, man?
Well, the ones that
It
were
was
affected,
legendary.
we had wind,
Wait, yeah.
air,
Yeah.
as well as light.
Makes
The
sense.
plants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got the wind. I just, couldn't quite pick up.
But
on
it
the light.
enveloped his whole body, and it was kind of everywhere. That Lucky is unique.
Look
I
at
thought you
him.
said people. I thought you said you didn't say people were special.
Maybe they're just a little lucky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And you see as he just double taps the stick, and you watch the sigil and expand a bit bigger. As you see the bowls.
So is Dog going next?
Oh, I thought you were going next.
Oh, okay, I'll go next.
Your turn.
Yeah.
So, Cowl. As you sit in the very center of this, he hands you the pipe once again. So, I don't know if you've done this before, but like,
Here we go.
got it, and like kind of coaches you on it a little bit.
Okay.
You still cough up a storm. And it's
Ha, you're also not a cool kid. Ha.
I think I'm allergic.
Do you have any milk?
as you're coughing relentlessly,
Sir Kelsey.
you're just coughing hard. He's like, okay, let me have that back. Let me have that back. Are you okay?
I'm not that old.
Well, that doesn't like that. What do you mean? I'm not that old. That doesn't
Well, I mean,
really.
Lucky can do everything, but I haven't tried much in life.
You see a wall of fire between the two of you.
Who's doing that? Oh, is it starting?
And you just look around,
Okay. I was like,
and you see this total darkness, this line in the sand, if you will, of just pure. It looks as though there's a bunch of large rocks that just kind of line in this actual sand, and there's this pure white, beautiful sand at your feet, and you look across the way, and where that fire erupted, it erupted from the stones. As it fades away, you see the darkened sand on the other side, pitch black, and you see a reflection staring back towards you.
I turn around.
You turn around. You turn around. What do you do?
I'm looking at the side I want to look at.
Okay. As you turn around and look, you see yourself. Beautiful white fur. Golden like the sun. Proud. Happy. In an open pasture. Enjoying life. and it seems as though you have what looks like a herd of cattle just around you.
It's my wife there.
Make a perception check.
8.
8. No? You see there is a herd of cattle around this form, this version you want to see in yourself. And that divide is still present in yourself. You look and you see the dark, ashy, black fur and the golden fur. You're just kind of looking. What do you do?
I'll go to the better version of myself.
As you take a few steps, you just hear, "So you're choosing cowardice."
I'm choosing life.
There is no life there. Our life leads to boredom, ruination.
Heroism. Is this coming from behind me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not turning around.
You seek to follow a path that is not what you were born from. It might be a part of your lineage, but it is not who you truly are.
It's what half of me is.
Maybe. Just maybe. What do you do?
I'm ignoring him.
Okay. You're just gonna continue walking forward?
Yep.
What happens when they die?
They won't. That's my purpose.
You can't be everywhere at once.
Maybe I can.
So what happens if they die?
It won't happen.
You're awful confident. And you see that shadow, the stones, almost as if these like shadow tendrils, as if the sand itself is pushing past some of these stones, these cracks,
Do I hear that?
and shifting. You do. You
Okay,
see,
then
you
I
hear
turn
the
around.
shifting sands just almost as if serpents are just creeping forward. Not rapidly, but you do hear what sounds like a bunch of sand kind of shifting all at once.
I'm gonna attempt to do the same thing back.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d20, please.
16.
16. Okay. Go ahead and make. Yeah, that would be a 20 total there. As you're just focusing in on this, go ahead and roll me another d20.
I'm using my right hand.
Yep.
That's a 19.
A 19. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And that would be a +2 there. You watch that sand shifting forward and rushing as you make what looks like a sand barrier, just like try to cover, and it just pierces through it and just continues to just slowly inch towards you.
Still the dark.
Still the dark sand. What do you do?
Is there a point of brightness, like a sun here?
It seems as though. It seems as though the area around you is light. And you see that pasture. You see the sun. And it almost as if it's a mirage, but still exhibits light.
Then this time, instead of pushing it back, I'm just going to I'm going to attempt to make it so bright that there is no room for darkness on this side.
Okay.
So I want to basically empower the source of light here.
Roll me a d20 then.
Natural 20.
Roll me a percentile, please.
70.
70. Okay. Let me check something real quick.
I'm keeping Abby in the loop. I'm live tweeting.
Oh,
her.
okay. Yeah, this is a
You're
word drive.
live
Yeah.
tweeting her.
Pretty much. I have been messaging Abby this whole time. Sorry, everybody. I've been looking down a lot. I'm texting Abby, keeping her updated. She has a lot of theories. She has a lot of great theories. Go check out our Discord. She has some great memes in there right now. That are some pretty good theories.
Housewife is a hamburger.
Oh gosh, are they in the Discord?
They're in the
No.
Discord. They're in the Discord. Everybody go look at our Discord, please. I think the link is probably in the bio, hopefully.
So, as the sands have slowly gone towards you, it looks as though, almost as if it's melted ice cream. And it's just these little beads, these waves that are crashing and clashing through this. Kalandor. You just hear that echo forward. The name resonating with you. You don't know why or how. This sharp pain in your chest as he says that word, that name, causes this deep confusion. As you just kind of like focus with this, you see the division line has shifted as well until it's at your feet.
It's the darkness getting stronger.
And you just see him standing right in front of you, and this time you see him in his full glory, towering over even you. You see his hands clawed, the antlers sharper and more gnarled and curved in. You see the piercing red eyes, this almost like leathery wings that just kind of are folded in as he just stands over you. Brother.
I start backing away. And I trip. And I fall into my butt.
You can't run from us. We are connected, like it or not.
I don't need you.
Too bad. We are one, Hallandor. As he takes a step forward over the line. You may try to think we are separate, as he takes another step over his other foot. But we are one and the same. As you see, the darkness hasn't moved, but he has.
You can't get into my mind.
We are the same, Kalandor.
Calamitous.
I'm already here. As he just keeps taking a couple of steps forward, very slowly.
I get back up.
Do you remember this? And he just holds out his hand, and you see apparating this lightning just starting to coalesce in his hands as you see this dark blade appear. So you just grasp it. We had a vision of a bright future.
Not dark.
One for both of us. When we shared the same blade. Granting us both power. No longer in division, but as one. You wielded both. Do you not remember?
I'm gonna try to do the same thing.
Okay. As you just reach out your hand, you see this bit of light start to make the outline of the blade, and you see this darkness finish the centerpiece of it. As you grasp the blade, it solidifies. Very much in the same way. You see his is the silvers and the reds and the black. Yours has the yellow, the white, and the blue, and the gold. He just stands there and just smiles. And you see the smile is all jagged teeth. You see these large canines that just kind of pass by each other. This spiked grin stares back at you. As you sit up and stand up, blade in hand, what do you do?
My purpose is not yours. Never will be. And I'm trying to stay calm right now.
Okay. Let me d20.
Wanna look at it?
I can't read.
Oh,
Oh, 20.
put your glasses
Sorry.
It's a natural 20?
That's another
Yes.
natural 20.
It's a natural 20.
It was the angle and the light.
What did you say to him?
We do not have the same purpose, I think is what I said. I have my own.
You may think that. But Kalendor, we are quite literally intertwined. You may not like this agreement, and I certainly don't either. Your radiance ravaging within my soul stings. Being trapped on the other side. I don't appreciate it.
You don't deserve to be where I am.
And why not?
Because I ride the path of goodness. I'm a hero.
Where do you get that righteousness from? The gods? Divinity? Who do you get your wisdom, your power? Where do you draw any of this from?
I was summoned here.
By who?
I don't know.
Exactly. I have answers. But there's a cost.
Which is why I'm seeking them elsewhere. And I was going to go for the chest with the sword.
Okay, you go to the chest. As he is not defending at all. He just has the sword in his hand. You may run, but it will always follow you. As you stab right through it, you just see the form of Calamitous. Shadow burst everywhere. As you just kind of look around, the dream that you had has vanished as well. You just see these sands, that division line has vanished. And you see the sands themselves have slowly started turning into each each other. Just only a slight amount. You just watch that. You feel concerned.
I'm gonna look for Lucky. Is he anywhere here?
Make a perception check.
I really need to get that proficiency. 18 minus 2, 16.
Yeah, you need to be
You
not
do
making
you do
yourself-
see Lucky, but you see the 8-year-old Lucky, the small child.
Is it Lucky or Nikki?
You see Nikki. You see a scraped knee, just kind of like crying over this. Just a young child.
Is it, which side is it on?
As you kind of like look around for Lucky, there is no side. You see this grassy terrain.
I'm gonna rush to her aid.
Okay. As you just rush forward, you just hear the crying of Lucky. Just silent, quiet sobbing. A bad scraped knee.
Is there anything here that could have caused it?
Looks as though probably climbing a tree.
Can't swim, you can't climb. What's next?
Can't fly.
Can't fly.
Can't fly. Can't do a lot of things. Wow. Get it together.
It's canon.
As you're just kind of like coddling, you look and you see the face isn't Lucky's face or Nikki's face. You see your face. Just this child crying, hoping that somebody will come to their aid.
I'm here.
Your eyes open again. You guys just see Cowl also just looking around. See in his right side, you see these little tears starting to well up a little. Lucky fast asleep in the bed.
So what is it?
Oh, you're awake. I honestly could not really tell. There were moments where it was definitive. Yes, you had strong attributes for light and dark. And then there was moments where fire reacted, and water, and lightning, and the darkness remained, but the light faded.
Well, all I saw in my dream was light. There was not a shred of dark.
Make a deception check.
25.
And make an insight check.
Whoa.
That's 17.
And one more roll of persuasion.
17 as well.
Having lied to yourself and not being able to identify it. Yeah, all you saw in your dream was light. Why would there be any dark? You've convinced yourself of this.
There was only light in my dream.
Well, I know what I saw, and all my years of doing this, that was crazy.
Okay, Doc, I guess it's you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy, my turn.
Oh.
And I'll go next to Lucky.
Okay.
No, I'm the same bed, of course. In the bed next to it.
Yeah.
In the yellow one.
You're not gonna snuggle up next to him? In the yellow one. So you can pee the bed? No one knows.
you guys are sitting there,
Thanks, sir.
do you go to sleep?
I'll try to.
Okay.
But it probably won't be that hard. I saw exactly what I wanted in the dream.
Okay. All right. Susie,
Yes.
in this whole kind of experience of seeing that, go ahead and roll me a d20.
I see you. 3.
As you're just kind of sitting there, you just can't help but not think about your sister right now.
Oh, dang.
Sister.
She's real. She's.
As you're just kind of sitting there, you're kind of like,
Abby's theory's wrong.
man, why would she go MIA? She's more responsible than that.
She's smarter than that.
Way smarter. And that just kind of collects your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of sit there and contemplate.
I'm probably just staring at the empty bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I'm just the soup. Just staring.
Bella's still knocked out,
Yeah.
but resting in a bed.
Yeah.
Lucky. As you're laying there, are you sleeping?
Probably not at first, but definitely probably at this point.
You feel a warmth and comfort you haven't felt in a long time. You just feel like there's just somebody there, just holding you.
Yep.
This is one of your more restful sleeps. Augustus is going, man, it looks like you guys got really messed up.
Mm-hmm. Just like you three specifically, like half of our party has so much trauma.
Well, I don't know why. They're doing great. They're asleep. They're fine.
Uh-huh.
I need to pick up my daughter.
You know you've been saying that for quite a while, Augustus.
You're imagining things. And just walks away. And gets seconds from a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So go ahead and, if you guys would like to, take watch as you can. But it seems as though Amanda is extremely trusting as well of this whole situation. You guys can take a long rest if you like.
Yeah, I am gonna take a long rest.
Hold that thought.
What?
So, everybody else go ahead and take a long rest except for Susie.
What? Singling me out, man.
Susie, as you are laying there, just kind of about to fall asleep, you just feel like just something nudge your hand.
Is it a spider?
You look?
Yes.
You end up looking and you just see these two red eyes of fire.
Oh.
And just
Dog.
just looking back at you.
What do you want?
Come with me.
Does the dog say
You
that?
see Amanda.
Okay.
See Amanda standing there. She's holding the other.
I'm concerned that the dog could talk all of a sudden.
No. You see Amanda standing there.
Hey, yo.
The dog is panting, and she's holding the other sword.
Okay.
Come with me.
Okay.
And she just goes ahead and walks outside and just opens the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's the middle of the night. Please. So, behind the scenes action.
Wow.
Oh no!
Keep the brands out of shot. Keep the don't punch Mr. Skelly.
My off-brand inconspicuous can of energy drink.
Mhm. Liquid energy. Consume it.
Liquid energy. Shove it up your pie hole.
I wish I had one of those.
The best ones. So, as you are walking out there with her,
Mhm.
she kind of wanders down a little bit to like another level towards the elevator.
Mhm.
Just sits there, kind of just waiting for you as you, I'm assuming, approach.
Yeah, I wouldn't be super far behind her,
Mhm.
but I'm definitely kind of sketched out. I'm like, whoa, man, gonna murder me right now?
She doesn't have her armor on.
Yeah, but she has her swords, which are very murderous.
She has, and the dog is.
I'm aware how powerful these are.
The dog is the hellhound is still walking
That it was a Saint
side by
Bernard.
side with you. It's a hellhound
It's
Saint
a
Bernard.
Oh. Oops. I've just pictured a Saint Bernard this whole time.
So he's walking along next to you,
Okay.
but she is holding the other purple sword,
Okay.
and she just kind of sits at the elevator waiting for you.
Yeah.
As you kind of get on, she goes ahead and starts bringing you guys a little bit higher up into this village. You're like more of like a top recessed area.
I definitely would say, like, if she's sitting on one side of the elevator, I'm definitely on the opposite side. I'm like,
The dog is
just sitting next to me.
looking up
okay.
at you, just kind of nudges your hand.
He nudges my head. I'll give him 2 pats on the head.
As you like give him the 2 pats on the head, you see that almost like flame just like.
So even the fake dog has like real fur fly off of it.
Basically. It doesn't burn.
Yeah.
It's a bit warm, but
Yeah.
there's no burn. There's nothing in that sense.
Mhm.
And you see she walks over into this, what looks like, for lack of a better term, a dojo. It's a wide open room with flat mats. And you see that there are swords on display, different types of weaponry. And it is a very open air room. And you see she goes ahead and just walks in. You see she just sits, puts her sword in front of her, calls her dog, and the dog lays down, and you see it just turns back to the sword. Please, sit.
Okay. I'm very
Sketched out.
yeah, sketched
Yeah.
out. I'm so suspicious. I'm like, what are you doing?
Do you ask her that?
No, I don't say that, but that's like the look on my face.
Uh-huh.
Very much of like, what?
Sorry to interrupt your sleep. But you are intriguing to me right now.
Ooh. She's taking you to her sweet spot.
I know, man. If only Abby was here, I'd get all that commentary.
So, Susie,
Mhm.
I think you have the potential to mimic my abilities, if not improve on them.
I mean, we've already established that we have the same element.
I'm going to do something that I don't allow really anyone to do. Draw the blades.
Hmm?
Draw the blades.
Like,
She looks down at her swords.
for real?
She just looks back at you.
Alright, I just grabbed the one that's closest to me.
That would be the red one.
Okay.
So you end up grabbing the red one, and as you like are reaching for the blade, you just hear this like low, just like flare that sounds almost like there's like a guttural growl in the flame, just hear shh, and the flame subsides.
I wouldn't say I'd take my hand back, but I would stop.
Mm-hmm. It's alright.
Okay.
As you end up grasping around this blade, you feel this immediate rush, almost as if it's like drawing something from you.
Does it almost feel like what the feather felt like?
In an opposite direction.
Interesting. Okay.
The feather felt like it, like almost like as if it connected with you.
Okay.
This is connected with you, but is not imparting stuff to you, rather than
It's
it is
taking.
taking.
Okay. Interesting.
And as you kind of grasp the blade, what do?
I do what she said.
Okay.
Shink.
You end up, and these are full-on katana.
I was just about to clarify. They are katanas.
Yes, they
okay, that is what I was picturing.
So you end up drawing the flame blade, and you're getting a better look at it now. And it's a beautiful blackened blade, with the red markings around the actual blade itself, not silver but red. It looks like there's actual flames like within it, just a very slight glow. You just feel that kind of, that same like kind of siphon still. You'll feel it drawing from you. That is normal.
Like forever?
It gets better, but it will always draw from you. That is the purpose of spirit metal, is to draw out your power, your latent abilities. The reason why I chose these swords, my father taught me how to fight to survive, and he was a practitioner of dual wielding. He died when I was very young. My mother died when I was born. So I had no one. No one except for Kella. He and his father were my only family, and they gave me a home and a purpose. And when they found out that I had an extremely strong affinity for the ancestral spirits, they welcomed me even more with open arms. The tribe, even though looking at me scornfully, accepted the fact that I effectively was a part of the household. A lowly, poor little girl became the village chief's household. These swords stand as a testament of that bond and of that power. I had these forged specifically to protect, to unite, and to make sure this tribe lasts. These blades hold a purpose. They draw on my will in the given form, as you've seen. You see she goes ahead and picks up the other one and draws it and just drops the sheath. When you have your form, when you have the vision in your mind, and you see that blade is still kind of purpled, it can draw on even more power than what you thought capable. And you see her eyes turn that purple, that same starscape, and you watch the blade glow even brighter, and almost as if like these like tendrils of the like starry darkness are starting to escape out from the handle, out from the crossguard. They just, as they just slowly envelop the blade, wreathing it in this cosmic beauty.
So aesthetic.
And you see she just holds the sword forward, and you watch her hand also starts to kind of take on that same glow. Kind of up to the forearm, right before the elbow. See, she just focuses. These blades channel my power. This is not the power of my blade, but rather of myself. You see, she just overhead swing, almost like just like a quick whip of the blade. Not at you.
Oh, okay. I was like, are we fighting now?
But next to you.
Ooh.
But next to you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
We have Abram.
Oh my gosh, what's up? What? There's 2 Abrams here now. Oh
What?
my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Change the hat. Change the hat.
Yeah. There we go.
Abram! There we go. That's better.
You missed a lot.
I missed a lot of that. Very good.
That's what the VODs are for. Or editor.
Yes. Woo.
So, as Amanda is just, she ends up striking the blade forward, and you see this shockwave emitting from the blade itself pass by you at just supersonic speeds. Your hair, as it and just in a stasis a little bit past you.
Definitely. I do not normally jump, but this probably would. She would like back up, like move away.
You see, she just is looking out towards it and then looks over to you. A blade's power should not do this. As she just recalls it, that shockwave back to her blade. And you see, she just exhales, and that shadow, that cosmic coloration just fades away again. Spirit metal is made to channel. But there is some that are more unique in their channeling. And that comes from the wielder itself. And I believe you have the ability to channel things that normally no one would be able to.
What makes you think that?
The way the elements reacted to you were not normal.
Sounds like there's a lot of not normalness going on with our rituals.
Normally they're very cut and dry. A lot of time it's just a single element appearing.
We all had 2.
Exactly. That's already past the norm. Your blades, or whatever you may choose, should be the extension of yourself. Not only an extension of your power, but an extension of who you are and who you wish to be. I don't care what I have to do in order to protect. And that is why I have this. And you see she just goes like this, and the sword flies from your hand. And you see it pierce her.
Oh gosh,
It pierces her, and you see she grabs the handle and
she's trying to frame me for murder.
shoves it all the way through. And you see it going through the other side of her back.
Oh my gosh.
And you see that,
Is it like bloodied?
yeah,
Oh,
you saw
man.
you see blood spray
Oh.
out.
That can't be good for your spine.
And you see that blood that like flew out stops. You see it just starts to ignite as it rushes back towards her. The blade itself shrinking and absorbing into her. And you see this fire at the core where she stabbed herself start to engulf her body. And you see what looks like these armored pieces of pure flame start to appear around her. This helm, a full piece of armor around her, and you see the other blade. She grabs the other blade as she reads that one in flame as well. You see both of them turn into what looks like this, almost like a great sword, where one side is a pure purpled blade and the other is that pure fiery red. And just the presence of her has just changed. You feel a lot more awake, alive. Fight or flight is kicking in. This is not the same Amanda. She's taken on something cosmic, ancient, infernal. It has changed her very structure of who she is. But you can still tell that that is still her. That humanity is still there. But something is expanded and beyond just that. As you see, she just looks back up at you. The eyes, one bright purple and the other that bright fiery red. Just staring back at you. And she takes a couple of steps forward.
Oh, I'm taking steps back, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as she keeps taking steps forward, you're watching this purple flame be left in her trail.
Yeah, she's like continually walking towards me.
Yep.
Okay, I'm taking a couple steps back. She's still coming towards me. I'm standing my ground now.
Do you draw it?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I'm ready.
Okay. So
Cause, cause I don't know. I don't want to trigger her into actually fighting me.
She just continues to walk forward towards you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. What's she gonna do? Is she gonna attack me?
She stands about 3 feet from you, very close in proximity. The heat hitting you. Immediately, just this heat wave. As she just stares down, and she's grown much taller as a result. She just stares back towards you. This is the power that is obtainable, and I believe you have much more within you. You see, she grabs the hilt again and splits the two blades. You see the form revert back to the blades as she shrinks down back to the normal size. And you see she exhales, invisible steam exits her mouth.
Interesting.
I'm not good with words or really conveying my thoughts, but I thought you should know there's a lot more out there than just swords and magic and rituals. This allows you to become what you think you should be.
Huh. I found this. I'm gonna take the bird feather out.
She just looks at it. May I? And as she reaches out for
I
it,
say it appeared in the ritual and then it was in the real world.
she reaches out, and then as you say that, she just stops. That is not for me.
You don't want it?
If it appeared after your ritual, that is exclusively for you.
Cool. And I just put it back in my pocket.
Sweet.
I'm like, my bird feather, pretty sick.
You might have just made contact with a spirit.
Yeah, it was a big purple flame. It's kind of like ate up all the light that was there.
Well, where we're going, there is someone who you can ask a little bit more about the spirits themselves. She's actually how I found these two. And I kind of taps her blades.
And where are we going?
The Crystal Lake.
And how far is that?
About 2 days.
Okay. Lucky can't swim.
Lucky can't swim.
No. Do we have to traverse the lake? Because Lucky can't swim.
He can't climb
We
either.
can't.
Yeah, he can't
we're
climb
not
either.
swimming across.
I can climb now.
Okay.
We're not swimming across the lake.
Okay,
If that's
sorry.
what you're thinking.
I mean, he's been really particular about this. You know, I just want to make sure that's clear before we travel farther. It's been a little bit of a hassle every time we mention a lake. He's like, I can't swim.
Mama J will take care of us. She helps us ferry across.
Okay.
And you see,
We
she's-
didn't know that until now. We've been thinking of ideas to swim.
And you see,
Yeah.
she just kind of. Sorry, this was out of the blue, but there's something that's different about you and your connection with the ancestral spirits that I haven't seen since my rebirth.
To my understanding, we connected to these spirits when that reactor blew up, and that took us to the Shadowfell. Do you think my connection could be different because I am from the Shadowfell?
It's a possibility. In all honesty, I understand how it affects me. I don't understand how it affects the whole or many others. Magnus is the one to speak to that.
And who's that?
Our Forge Master.
Okay.
He has been around since before the Geislandian dynasty even started.
Dude, old. That's old.
Oh, man.
But keep in mind, he is not the friendliest.
Well, if you've been around that long, I don't think I'd be the friendliest either.
Especially when we show him where spirit metal
I'm gonna
explosion.
do so much for these.
Open the hole. He's gonna be like, why?
I'm gonna do so much for these blades too. She just kind of like starts to walk off. Good night, and thank you for.
Well, I have to travel back with her. Why is she saying we're going to the same room?
She's not going to the bed. It looks like she's like walking off towards another hut
Oh,
on this
okay.
level.
Okay.
She just kind of gives you a bow and just.
And then I get on
Just
the
walk
elevator. I'm tired, man. I got a lot to think about now.
A lot of thing about.
That's a lot of information in one day. Can I hit the long rest button? No.
You may.
Okay.
As you nestle on into your
Yes,
nice little
I finally
comfy
get
bed.
to sleep.
So it's a long rest.
Mhm.
My flare stone is back.
Heck yeah!
Nice. That's it.
So, we're retconning and we're jumping back
Yeah,
to
jumping
the
back. Woo!
to the nighttime right before you went to sleep.
Is the dog gonna do it?
Final ritual.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Dajwanren, you're up.
So this is before the long rest.
So, I expanded the ritual circle for you so you'll be able to fit. So please, sit.
Right, so and crisscross applesauce.
You do so.
Dang, flexible elephant.
Very nimble.
How do you think he's able to wild shape?
Ah, makes sense now.
His elephant yoga.
That's right.
He's elevated.
Oh.
So, he goes ahead and packs up the spirit metal pipe once again and hands it back to you. Okay. You toke and toke. And as you're just kind of sitting there, exhaling out from your trunk, you just see that mist just kind of billowing out from your trunk onto the ground. You're just kind of looking around and you see he's standing there, just smiles as you see that fog, that smoke just drift up and just cover him like a wall. And you see everything else around you, that same fog, just disappear and part. And you're standing in a grove. Trees everywhere around you. Beautiful air. It is a beautiful day. Bright sunny sky. Enough shade from the trees.
I like it.
It's a beautiful day. Make a perception check.
Totally prepared. Oh, with my sensory, my smell. Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
actually.
Okay, good. Because that would have been bad. That's not much better. Okay. 1 second. Sorry, loading.
Gosh, I can't believe you're not prepared.
That'll be 11. Quite absurd.
An 11. Okay.
Rolled a 4.
Alright. So, as you're kind of standing there smelling, it almost smells as if there's something being burnt as fuel. Kind of in the distance. And you can pinpoint where. You do see that there's actually a smokestack.
I would approach it.
Okay. Takes a little bit, and as you're just kind of walking through, you are starting to notice there are just occasional shrooms just kind of growing near the bases of these trees.
Kind of pet them as I go, like running through fields of
Yeah.
wheat, but I'm running through the mushrooms.
And you're just kind of like running through.
Slow motion.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, of course.
Well, I'm pretending it's slow motion, but it's actually real motion.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah. It's the
You're singing to yourself. Do, 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 do.
I know, I'm trying to, what is it? Chariots of Fire? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
whatever that song is called, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the
You're
super
humming it
fake
to you.
slow
Yeah.
mo.
Ears are slowly flashing.
Some deer is just thinking to himself, what is he doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
freak.
So, you continue, and you just touch all of these little mushroom caps, but you do see what looks like a very large machine. It looks like there's a bunch of these different interlocking cogs, and it looks like it's a harvester of some sort, and it is. And there's these very large, like arm-like saws that are cutting through these trees, and it looks like it's collecting the logs and like stripping them of their branches and pulling them into this reserve. And you do see that there is a large bucket on the back that has a bunch of just logs of these trees that are being cut up, and it's coming towards you very slowly, but it is coming towards you.
So my slow waltz is turning into like I'm stopped and like in shock, and starting to become very angry.
Okay.
And I would shillelagh my staff.
You hit your staff, and instead of shillelagh, you see the shrooms on your staff start to just grow, and you see they almost like split open, and you see almost like these like little teeth, these pincers, these thorns appear, almost as if they're opening into these small mouths across your staff as they grow and become more bulbous.
And then I just would start running towards it.
As you're running towards it, that machine is still the smokestacks appearing out from it. It smells like a burning fuel of some sort.
Hate it. Let's see. How close am I to it now?
Pretty close. I'd say you're probably about 50 feet away.
50 feet away.
It's a very slow machine.
Mhm.
It's harvesting like 2 trees at once, but it is an extremely large machine.
I'm gonna cast an entanglement spell on it, so trying to stop it while I'm running towards it.
As you're running towards it, you reach out your hand and just grasp forward, and you see you see and feel the ground as you see these vines that are just like underneath the surface of the ground, almost like they're like a worm underneath the skin, just burrowing and traveling at rapid paces, and you're seeing multiples as you reach out, multiple vines and branches that just creep out, and you watch as they just get all into the wheel system, they get into the cogs, and it's just like, and you just hear the engine kind of like and just start to try to power through this.
More power.
As it's just like
Alright, so
It's
I'm
barely-
still running full speed at it,
yeah.
and my intent would be to get in front of it.
Okay.
And I'm a big elephant guy, so I'm kind of an obstacle. So I would try to get in front of it. And you said it had like arms, or it had like harvester arms?
Yeah,
or?
so it's got these like very large like arms that like bring it forward,
Mhm.
and then there's saws on the insides of those that shear and cut down the tree itself.
Okay.
And there's these like another set of grabber arms that grab it forward, and it looks like one side of them is made specifically for shearing off any other branches, and then the bottom is for like breaking up those branches.
Yeah.
And then after it finishes collecting all of that, chops it up into multiple pieces, and then puts it into the back bucket. Feeds it through the center.
So maybe I wouldn't go right in front of it, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really want to get
There's
jumped
a
out
lot
there.
of
and
the
moving
leg
like-
side, but
things.
so like to the arm side. What I'd like to do once I get there is to like try to grab onto the arm,
Okay.
and if I'm there already.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm there. I grab onto the arm, and thinking back to Rope Burner's lesson that he gave me,
Yeah.
and you know, the kind of the when he made that fire sprite thing, I'm just gonna focus all of my concentration on like making that arm decompose back into earth, and like using spores, using whatever nature elements that I can try to think of, and I'm just channeling that in there, just making this arm decompose.
As you're just focusing in so hard on this, roll me a d20.
Roll a good D20. Be a good D20.
I have mediocre ones.
That's mediocre. 10.
10. Okay. As you're focusing on this, your hands start just glowing with this green light. It's like a smattering of like a green and like a red tint that just emanates from your hands as you're grabbing onto this arm. Just try to hold on. Make me a strength check for me. It can be athletics as well.
1. It's not good. I'm a big, strong guy.
The arm is starting to move with you.
Athletics, you said?
Yeah, athletics.
6.
6? Okay. The arm is still pushing against you.
All right.
It's still entangled, but now it's starting to like try to break free from that. But as you grabbed on and started to focus on this, my bad. You are focusing in on this, and you just feel the earth around you just as you see vines wrap around it also in a very similar manner of where your hands are, just kind of overlap your hands. And you see as it's bringing, you see, it's bringing up these rocks with it, and they're like jamming it into this metal. And you watch as though like the energy that you're producing is slowly like thinning out this metal, and it's absorbing into these rocks and turning back into mineral deposit.
Nice. So seeing that kind of weakening, and knowing that I'm not strong enough, I'm gonna take my tusks, and I'm just gonna like headbutt my tusks
Just
into
gonna
it.
gore into it.
And
Okay.
just gore it.
You end up
Nice.
goring.
With the same
into
thought
it.
in my mind is that this is just breaking it down. I'm part of the organisms, the microscopic organisms that break things down. Is what my thought.
You end up boring through this, and it breaks free from it, and you see that arm start swing around. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh,
Over here.
yeah. See, better luck.
Nope.
Dex. My laptop open. There he is. That will be a 10.
7 points of slashing damage as a giant saw blade passes by you and just saws right across you. Hurts a lot. And as you just kind of recoil and back up from that, the saw blade like is still rotating because it was at such a high speed, and is starting to like go into the ground. And you watch the roots wrap around it and just start pulling it in, and the blade has like jammed up and is now stopped and is being pulled back into the earth. And you see these vines just pulling it back in, and all of them are spored. They all have just a different smattering of smaller spores on them. But it looks as though you are starting to just turn this thing back to the earth.
And then, so seeing that, my thoughts are just going more towards decay, and not in like a necrotic evil kind of way, but more in like a renewing and turning this into, to something new, to a new life. Taking it from the monstrosity somebody's created this into, and putting it back into
Nature
a natural balance. Do I see anybody? Is there like anybody inside of this machine, or is it just running on its own?
Looks like it's just running on its own.
Okay, so I'm gonna just continue to just try to dismantle it.
As you continue and just are now at this, you just see these large tendrils, all with spores, and they're getting larger and larger, the tendrils, and the spores as well with it. And you see your staff is now starting to tendril off of itself, and it is a growing natural organism. What do you do?
I'm going to try to see if I can control that thing that's forming, and to
Give me a d20.
be like an extension of myself. An 11.
Doesn't seem to want to budge.
Okay.
It kind of has a mind of its own.
It's doing its thing. Then I'm gonna activate. Let me see if I can.
As you're kind of standing there, the vines that are like started to just like slowly protrude out from your staff. It looks as though they're going towards the other larger vine.
The vines from my staff are. And I'm going to channel my focus on that and try to strengthen that.
Okay. As you
And
channel your focus in.
While I do that, can I also activate my halo of spores? Because that would be something natural to me that I
Yeah,
would
absolutely.
normally do, just kind of use that as my extra reserves.
Yeah, you end up activating that, and you see the ground around you just spores just start to appear.
Okay.
So what do you do with your staff?
So I'm trying to make that. It says you said it's growing towards that other vine. I'm trying to make that connection. So I'm just focusing on like combining.
Do you bring it towards it?
Yeah.
Okay. As you bring it towards it, you see the vines, they wrap around each other and grasp and are now like intertwined, and you feel the staff nudging away from you.
I want to take my staff.
Yeah, Shillelagh, every stick is your staff.
Yeah, this is true. Let go of my staff. Can I don't know if I can make. Can I make a perception check to make sure, like, is this something that I would see as a natural fit, or would it feel like it's more of a
Make a nature check.
yeah, nature would be good. I am ruling.
Roll with different dice.
I know it doesn't matter for me. I think. Oh shoot! Where's it going? Yeah. Oh, what do you do when that happens?
That's a good question.
Oh, there it goes.
There you go.
Okay. 13.
13. I mean, everything here is kind of unnatural
Mm-hmm.
in its naturalness. It's not the norm of what nature should do. Nature is usually not this volatile and aggressive. But you are also the herald and guiding it to do this.
Yeah. All right. And then I look at that thing that is forming, and I know that's something that I'm not conjured, but have convinced to help in this, and I just let go of the staff.
You let go of the staff, and you see those vines just drag it in towards what looks like the center. And you see all the vines retract back under the earth, staff along with it.
Tear, just
Yeah,
single tear. And then I see it go down, and then I just attack the machine again
Mm-hmm.
with the same thoughts, but probably more an emotional, like, you just killed my daddy kind of.
As you're just as you're emotional and you're just grabbing onto this, shaking it. Are you like punching it? Like what?
Yeah, well, I would be goring it with my tusks
Mhm.
and just trying to dismantle, or just trying to break it down into dust.
As you're so focused in on this, you don't notice the vines are starting to return in mass, and you see the very large shroom just start to crest outwards and split into this large mouth. These large vines and tendrils all stabbing into this machine. This extremely large plant monster born of mushrooms. And you see in the mouth of this creature, you see its tongue is your staff, the tendrils wrapping around as it goes down to bite and grab in.
Nice.
As you see, fairly quickly, within about a span of like 10, 20 minutes, it's dismantled and returned to the earth.
And then, so when that's back into the earth, and then I just go back. I go over to the area where it's at, and I lay my trunk down on it, and my hand, and then I say, "Return to the earth. You are restored." And then I said, "Crisscross applesauce."
Okay. You see crisscross applesauce, and they're like, yeah. You just see that plant monster has vanished, but the earth splits open. You just see your staff just shrooms on it like normal.
Nice. So I reach over.
You grab it, and you have to kind of like uproot it. You see that it's got all these small little roots on it at the bottom. You just kind of shake it off. The dirt kind of clumped up in there.
Yeah.
Dust it off.
It's not screamy.
No.
Okay.
It burns.
As you're like, that was weird.
Yeah. So I would like look at it to me, because it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, yeah.
looking at it to make sure that it's okay and there's any changes to it.
As you're looking at it, it looks like there's a few new like blue spores that weren't there originally.
Nice.
And as you're like, huh, weird, your eyes reopen, and your staff is across your lap, and you do see those new spores remain.
Oh, wow. And I'm back in the room.
Yeah. And you just hear him go, oh, soup's really good, by the way. Man, good cook.
Yeah, he has made some good soup.
I need some of that soup, I think.
Yeah. Are you a vegetarian?
No.
Good. Because I was not going to accommodate.
I'm an
So
everythingitarian.
rude.
Ugh. And he just continues to eat.
I prefer the vegetables and mushrooms, but I'll eat anything.
And he just continues to eat on this. He just goes, you don't care if you eat tangible behemoth, right? It tastes just like octopus, you're fine.
What?
Sounds delightful.
It's a nice, like, seafood stew. As you take a long rest and rest for the night. So relaxing. That's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Ooh, okay. Ooh.
Sorry guys, I made it right at the end.
You still made it.
Still made it, still made it. Alright, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. And I guess we'll see you next week with our sponsor, Nord Shadow Honey.
Yes. Definitely a real brand.
Definitely a real bad. Good
Happy
night.
New Year.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good
Good night, guys.